Greetings, boys and girls. It is now time for Math Workshop. We're having fun learning math today. Math today is fun. We learn from our success. We learn from everyone. We're having fun learning math today. Math today is fun. We learn from our success. We learn from everyone. We're learning to think. Think today. Thinking today is fun. Thinking helps us solve problems. Solving problems helps everyone. We're learning to think. Think today. Thinking today is fun. Thinking helps us solve problems. Solving problems helps everyone. Boys and girls, can you help me read our learning target today? I can add within 1,000 using place value strategies, and I can explain my calculations to others. Boys and girls, remember, we're using different strategies to solve our addition and subtraction problems. One strategy is the base 10 block strategy, where we have ones cubes, tens rods, and hundreds squares. Remember, a tens rod has 10 ones cubes in it, and a hundred square has 100 ones cubes in it, or 10 tens rod. Remember, 10 is that magic number. Another strategy we've used to add and subtract is the number line strategy, where we can start from one of the numbers in the equation and jump the other number in the equation by ones, tens, and hundreds. The last strategy we've worked with is the place value strategy, where we pull our standard form numbers out into expanded form so that we can see our ones, tens, and hundreds. And then we add or subtract and put the final answer back together again in standard form. We also know that add-in plus add-in equals sum, and minuend minus subtrahend equals difference. Let's look at our problem for today. We're going to solve together 264 plus 218. Boys and girls, do you have your pencil and paper ready? Okay, now, remember, boys and girls, before we build any numbers with our base 10 blocks using the base 10 block strategy, we should identify the place value of each number. Can you help me? What place is the 4 in 264? That's right, it's the ones place. What place is the 6 in? Yes, it's the tens place. And how about the 2? That's right, it's the hundreds place. Now let's identify the place values of the second number in the equation, 218. Can you tell me what place the 8 is in? Yes, it's the ones place. How about the 1? That's right, it's in the tens place. And what about the 2? Correct, it is in the hundreds place. Now, boys and girls, we know how many blocks to pull from each section or place value when we're building our numbers to solve this problem. So let's build our first number, 264, starting with our ones place numbers. So let's get 4 ones. Can you help me count? That was 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. Now, I'm going to cross out that 4 ones so that I won't get confused and build it again. We're finished with 4 ones. Let's move on to the next number. Can you tell me what it is? That's right, it's 6 tens. So let's get 6 tens rods. Can you help me count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great job, boys and girls. Let's cross out that 6 tens because we're finished with that. What number is last, boys and girls? Yes, 2 hundreds. So let's get 2 of the 100 squares. 100, 200. Great job. Let's cross out the 200s. Okay, now let's pay attention to our sign. We are adding. So when you add, you put more base 10 blocks onto the place value mat. Okay, let's build the next number, 218. Can you remember which place value number we should begin with? Yes, we should always start with the ones place numbers because the ones are number 1. How many ones do we need to get? Yes, that's correct. 8 ones. Can you help me count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great job, boys and girls. Let's cross out 8 ones so we'll know what number is next. How many 10s should we get, boys and girls? Yes, 1 tens rod. Help me count. 1. Let's cross that out and move on to our last digit. How many hundreds should we get? Yes, 2 hundreds. Help me count. 100, 200. And let's cross out that 200 so we'll know that we're finished building both numbers. Now it's time for the fun part. Boys and girls, can you help me count our base 10 blocks starting with the ones place numbers? Remember, if we have more than 10 ones, we need to do something special with them. Can you remember what that word is? Yes, we need to regroup. If there are 10 ones, that means we need to move them over to the 10 section and make them look like a tens rod. Can you help me count the ones? Remember, we can cross them out as we go so we don't get confused. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boys and girls, we have a tens rod here. And the tens rod does not want to still be with the ones. That tens rod wants to be over with the other tens rods. So let's circle our 10 ones, cross them out because they are moving. And we can even draw an arrow to show that we are moving 10 ones and turning them into a tens rod. And I'm just going to draw a tens rod here. We have regrouped 10 ones into one tens rod. Okay, now we just have 2 ones left. So when we add 4 ones and 8 ones, so far we just have 2 ones because 10 of those ones made a tens rod and had to move. Now let's count our tens. Can you help me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tens rods. So we have 8 tens. Remember, boys and girls, if we had 10 tens rods, then we would regroup. But anything less than 10 can stay where it is. Okay, now let's count our hundreds. Can you help me? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 hundreds. Boys and girls, can you read the sum or the answer to our addition problem? That's it. 482 is the sum. Now let's look at the explanation, or how we should explain what we did. First, it should begin with what your equation was and your answer. My equation was 264 plus 218 equals 482. First, I built 2 hundreds, 6 tens, and 4 ones. Then I added 2 hundreds, 1 tens, and 8 ones using base 10 blocks. Notice how I talked about my numbers in the equations, or my add-ins, using each place value number, starting with the ones place. Let's continue. I added 4 ones and 8 ones, and the sum was 12. Remember when we did that, boys and girls? Here it is. 4 ones and 8 ones, and all together there were 12 ones. But what did we do? We regrouped. And here's that sentence. I regrouped 10 ones and moved them to the tens place. I had 2 ones left over, and there they are. Next, I added 6 tens and 2 tens. Remember, boys and girls, we added 6 tens and those 2 tens right there. We're just talking about what we did. And the sum was 8 tens. And there's my 8 tens. Finally, I added 2 hundreds and 2 hundreds to get a sum of 4 hundreds. My final answer was 482. Great job, boys and girls, for following along with me. Now it's your turn. Please write this problem down, 249 plus 125, on your own sheet of paper. You're going to solve this problem on your own today and explain your answer. When you're finished, take a picture of your work and upload it or send it to your teacher. Tomorrow, I will review the answer. Now remember, boys and girls, you can take a picture and text it to me or email me your work, whatever is easiest for you. Have you written down the problem that you are to solve? Great job. Let's review what we've learned today. We've worked with and continue to learn about the base 10 block strategy using ones cubes, tens rods, and hundreds squares. We know that it takes 10 ones to make a tens rod and 10 tens rods to make 100 square. We've also been adding today, and we know that The numbers we add are called add-ins, and the answer is called the sum. Now it's time for you to have more fun with math. Using your math workbook, Volume 1, you can choose from any of these pages and pick 1 or 2 pages to work on today. You can also work online with MobyMax. Remember, the link is on Mrs. Hefner's blog along with your password and username. Have fun learning. See you next time.